Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to go straight into the class right now. Please kindly take notes because I would, just to be sure that we're following, I would ask questions at different times in the class. So, um, I'm sure we're all in the group, and I posted the focus for today's class. Three things we'll be talking about. Number one is how to introduce yourself or business to attract your ideal clients. Now, if you noticed, I started the class asking you to introduce yourself. Now, you all did a great job. However, it could be better. It could be better. Because, for example, what if it was, say, someone prominent, influential in your industry who can take your business from 0 to 100 that asks you that question? How would you introduce yourself to them, knowing that this person's input in your business or career could transform things for you? How would you introduce yourself or introduce your business? Now, I'm going to teach you that, okay? Number two is we'll be looking at how to increase profit using branding, because this masterclass is titled or is tagged Profit Circle, meaning that the gathering of people or business owners that know how to make profit. Okay. And then lastly, for today, we'll be looking at social media strategies for effective marketing. If we are not able to exhaust all of this, as I envisage we might not, especially the third one, because I want to be very exhaustive on the first two, we would likely push that one to tomorrow, which is the final day for the masterclass. All right. So let's start with the first one, which is how to introduce yourself or business to attract your ideal clients. I would like to get a response from everyone that you are following up until this point before I continue.
I'm with you. I'm following.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Ruth. Everyone else, are we together?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm following.
Okay. Excellent.
We're together, duo. We're together.
Okay.
Together.
Thank you so much. All right. So let's proceed. Um, So, number one, how to introduce yourself or business to attract your ideal clients. There are a couple of things you have to do under this number one. So, if you're writing, let me know so that I take it slowly. The first thing you should do in knowing how to introduce, I'll later give you an example of how I introduce myself. So, that might help you going forward to introduce yourself better. But let's look at a few things under this how to introduce yourself or business to attract your ideal clients. Number one, define your unique value proposition, UVP. Your unique value proposition. Now, some people call it USP, unique selling proposition, whichever one is fine. Now, I'm going to be giving examples so that my point is clear. I'm sure we know Flutterwave for those that perhaps deal with international jobs and contracts. You need Flutterwave. Flutterwave helps you to receive payments, make and receive payments, especially in Africa. It's an African product. It has gone quite far. Now, Flutterwave, their unique value proposition is that they are the fastest way to make and receive payments in Africa. So this highlights their focus on simplifying payment solutions across the continent. That is their focus. That is the value they bring to the table, facilitating the fastest and simplest way to both make and receive payments in Africa. So they are not necessarily targeting the whole world, it is Africa. So that's what we are asking, how to introduce yourself or business to attract your ideal customers or clients. So this is focused. Your value cannot be for everyone. If you say, oh, my business is for everybody, then the answer to that is that your business is for nobody. Because your business can be for everybody, your product can be for everybody. It has to target someone or a group of people. Okay, because business is not just about, before we talk about making profits, business is first of all a platform to solve problems, real problems experienced by real people. So I would like to say this. So business is a game of value. Okay, if you offer value, you would always get money in return. Now, price negotiations, how to set your price so that you are not price cheap, is another conversation. Perhaps we might treat that tomorrow. But first of all, business is a game of value. You see, I believe, I mean, when we're in secondary school, how many of us did, is it commerce? How many of us did commerce or economics? Commerce.
I did economics.
Economics, okay. I'm sure you remember this topic on money, where they say function of money. One of it is a exchange of value. Do you remember?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yes. So it is just what it is. So money is given for value offered, and that's what business is. Business is about solving problems, and when you solve problems, people pay you for solving their problem. Okay. So it is important that you define the value you are bringing to the table. What exactly am I offering? If you are offering something that people don't need, that's the only reason you might not be making money. Or you are offering what people need, but you are offering it to the wrong people, or you are offering it at the wrong time. For example, selling umbrellas during dry season, or raincoats during dry season, right? That's not going to work because it is not useful at that time, or marketing cars to children. It's a waste of time, effort, and money, you see. So define your unique value proposition. That's number one. Number two, craft a compelling elevator pitch. Now, how many of us are familiar with that show, Elevator Pitch? How many?
None.
You've okay, great. Michael said he has watched it before. Have anyone other person seen it? Elevator Pitch.
I haven't seen it before. I haven't seen it before. I said none.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay. It's quite popular. It's a business show online. You could even, after this program, you could go online on YouTube perhaps and check it out. Elevator Pitch. Basically, it's a program where you business owners or entrepreneurs are given the opportunity to make a pitch, more like pitch their businesses to investors, but they will be inside an elevator and they just have 1 minute to pitch, and if the investors are impressed with their pitch, they tell him or her to come in. Then the elevator opens. If nobody responds, the elevator goes back down, meaning that they were not interested in whatever they pitched. So craft a compelling elevator pitch. Let me use another example. Paystack. How many of us know Paystack? How many of us know Paystack?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Paystack. I use Paystack.
Okay. Paystack
I'm
is kind of
familiar with it.
Paystack is similar to Flutterwave. So basically,
Yeah.
they still do payments, right? So they help businesses in Africa accept payments easily and securely, whether online or offline. Now, if you were to pitch your let me ask a question to is it Victor or Michael that said they are into construction?
I am the one. It's my person.
Michael, okay, please, Michael, I want to give you like just 10 seconds, right?
All right.
Pitch to everyone here why, for example, why you are the best when it comes to offering construction services, and then why we should invest in your business.
Did you say 10 minutes or 10
Ten
seconds?
seconds.
10 seconds.
Yes.
All right. So, am I ready to go?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good evening, house. You're welcome to Prime Consultants. We give you solid, rigid structure, stand the test of time at affordable rates, and your dream come true, giving breath to your desired home.
Okay. Before I comment, let me let the house comment first. So, who wants to comment on how Mr. Michael did? Is that something you would invest in? Haven't heard that.
That was quite impressive, honestly.
Okay, now that's a coming from my wife. That's a lot. So let me hear from someone else. What do you think of that pitch?
I would actually be interested in the future and want to know more
Nice. Now you said
about the
something very
business.
important here. You said you would want to know more. That's the goal of a pitch, because you have to um, sell people on your offer. And then they're like, oh, tell me more, tell me more. It means you already have an interest. That's very important. Okay, Victor, let me hear you. Yeah, Victor, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Victor.
Okay. Can I go ahead?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Olabi Print, your one-stop shop for innovative printing and packaging solutions. We offer high-quality, customized services that help your business stand out in the market. Um,
Hello, let's put our hands together for Victor. You've done well.
businesses or company.
You've done well. You've done well. Okay, I would like to first of all, before I continue, welcome someone that just joined us, Mr. Eloho. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Kindly respond if you can hear me.
Network is bad.
Okay. You seem to be having network issues over there. Mr. Eloho, can you hear me? Kindly respond if you can. You're welcome. Okay, I think he's trying to sort out his sound. All right, so Mr. Victor, we heard what you said. I heard your pitch. I'm sure everybody else did. Before I come to you, I would like to comment on Michael's speech. So, Michael, that was a great job. Okay, you were able to grasp um, our interest. You're able to get our interest, and or rather, you're able to get us interested in what you offer, and that's the key in crafting an elevator pitch. All right. So, great job, great job. And then, Mr. Victor, well done. Um, May I say at this point that Mr. Victor is highly recommended by me because he printed my wedding card.
That's great.
Okay, he printed my wedding card, and I kept telling my wife that he did an amazing job. He printed our souvenirs as well, so I'll recommend him anytime, any day. So please take your jobs to him. Okay, so Mr. Victor, you heard me right? I just advertised you. You are going global.
Very much, sir. I'm sorry, my network. I don't know. It's.
Okay, your network is lagging.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your network is lagging, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, it's fine. It's fine. All right, so I'll continue. Now we have so far. Can someone tell me what we've discussed so far under how to introduce yourself or business to attract your ideal clients? Number one, what did you say that we should do?
Okay, we said that we should learn to define our unique value proposition.
Very important. Then number two,
You
We
said
should
we
have a
should.
captivate. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Victor.
You said you should craft a compelling elevator pitch.
very important. Now let's go to number three, which is leverage client testimonials or case studies. Leverage client testimonials or case studies. For example, um, So, Miss Ruth Ojone offers. Um, so, I'm hearing myself. Can everyone mute until you are ready to speak? Thank you. Okay. So, Miss Ruth Ojone amongst us here offers event management services. Like she said at the beginning of the program, she provides ushers for events, and honestly I have seen her services firsthand. She is one of the best in Abuja here. So if you actually have events, that you are doing, you have someone's bring a wedding, a corporate event, please contact her. She's the best in the business. All right, now she does that, right? She If she wants to market herself or she wants to introduce herself, one way to get anyone's attention is to say, hello, my name is Miss Ojane Ruth. I offer event management services such as providing excellent professional ushers to handle your events. In the past 1 year, we have successfully anchored five major events in the city of Abuja, four major events in the city of Lagos, and three major events in the city of Port Harcourt, with a capacity of 1,500 people in each event, which were all successful. How does this sound to anybody who wants to hire an event manager? Please respond.
I think it sounds like, okay, you know what you're doing, um, and they might want to go further with you.
Okay. So, Miss Ruth, now, how does that sound to somebody who you are trying to market your service to? If you're able to give them testimonials and numbers and figures of your rate of success.
It's
Um, for me, I would say it sounds compelling and believable. It sounds like you can be trusted
Yes,
for
that's the
people
key
in
word.
other states to call you.
Yes. I think Victor wanted to say something, or Michael.
Yeah, and that's testament or testimonial. It shows integrity and
Very
rigidity.
important. Integrity. Yes.
First of all, the interstate shows that not just that this person knows what he's doing, but this person is at an expert rate to be going interstate.
Yes.
Then to control crowd control is something I know in events is
Hmm.
very difficult and sometimes unexpected or presented because you might say you are preparing an event for 500 participants
Yeah.
and before you know you'll be seeing almost 1,700.
True.
Then all you have to do now is how to meet up. How do you make up for the excessive you've gotten? Yes, you're making profits, but how can you now
Manage.
make sure that the
Yeah.
excessive manage your event and everything? So it shows the integrity and the rigidity. It's something that people want in their businesses or when they
True.
go out to look out for people,
True.
that
True.
their money doesn't go to waste.
Exactly, exactly. I think you just nailed everything right on the head. And so this is very important because when you use testimonials of people whom your service has helped or has benefited from your service, it gives you credibility, basically. It gives you credibility. So next time, I'm sure you're learning a few things now. So the next time I ask you, what do? You will now answer better. You can call even names of certain brands, especially the prominent ones you've worked with. For example, I remember the program that I worked with, UNIDO, which is a sister agency to United Nations Industrial Development Organization. And Miss Ruth Ojone was responsible for bringing ushers to that event. And they did excellently well. This was in 2022, I believe. So I mean that's something she can use if she was trying to market herself. Oh, I provided ushers for United Nations organized event, and this was the success, and it was actually successful because I was there, I witnessed it, and this thing was published all across Nigeria. So always use testimonials to give yourself a competitive edge because you're not the only one doing what you're doing, right? So you always want to put your best foot forward. Now, let's go to the last point under how to introduce yourself before we move into the number two topic. Let's see what we can do before 8 o'clock. The last point here is align your messaging with client pain points. I'll repeat that. Align your messaging with client pain points. So, now, Michael said something very important just now under event management. He said one of the things that they struggle with is sometimes things don't go according to plan. You plan for 500 and then maybe 700 people show up. Now, what do you do? Especially for weddings where the food has already been arranged. What do you do? Where do you get extra food from to feed the remaining 200 people? Now, whenever you are trying to sell a product or service, make sure that it is solving a problem that people care about. Please, if you can write that down, write it down. Whenever you are selling a product or marketing a service, make sure that it is solving a problem that people care about. Why is this important? Because nobody will pay you for something that has no consequence to them. Do we agree on this? Please respond.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So if my wife is, I mean, she's one of the best, if not the best, when it comes to oil, perfumes, car diffusers, and all that. She's making a name for herself in that space. And one of the problems she's solving, because our customers keep coming back over and over again. One of the problems that she's solving with her product is that she's helping people. I think there was a day she and I were having this conversation. I said, you are not necessarily just selling perfumes to people, rather, you are helping them with confidence. Because there's something that smelling good does. It makes you walk tall anywhere that you're going, right? It's just like someone who is also a fashion designer. You are not necessarily, don't see yourself as somebody who is sewing clothes like a tailor. No, but rather you are solving the problem of confidence. By the time you raise your your problem definition to go beyond the basic need to also a psychological need, which is fine, clothes are for wearing, which is the basic purpose of wearing clothes. But now clothes, you don't, it's not just for wearing. Clothes also influence. Am I right when I say sometimes when you wear a suit you feel a certain type of way, when you wear native you feel a certain type of way? Is that true?
Very correct.
So now you who makes these things, see yourself as somebody in the business of confidence boosting, not just sewing suits or making suits and making uh, native wears. No. So begin to rethink, what problem are you really solving for your clients or for your customers? What problem? Because if what you are marketing or selling does not solve anybody's problem, at least the problem that they care about, then it is, I mean, it's a no-brainer that you will not make money, because nobody will pay you for just because you have a shop. Nobody will. So that's the last point under um, how to introduce yourself or your business to attract your ideal clients. Align your messaging. Now, this even goes into your social media. If you're posting something to sell something, to market something, is the post, is your caption, is it capturing what people are concerned about? You know. Now, one of the for some of us that also market health products, one of the approach we use, as we have known by research that works as a marketing strategy, is the fear appeal. Now, fear appeal, because people don't want to die. Life is so precious. So people don't want to die. And so when you show them, I mean, everybody does this. Every big brand uses fear appeal, especially when it has to do with health products. They show you the consequences of not using the product, right? They show you the consequences of not using the product. And then at the end, they cannot recommend that if you use this product, you can avoid this consequence. And then you see people rushing
That's
it.
right.
So that is a marketing strategy. Why? Because you are able to see that the ultimate goal is everybody wants to be alive for as long as they can be. And they want to be healthy for that long as well, not alive and sick. So why not prefer solution with your product, but having already shown them the consequences of ignoring your product, because your product has the solution. Okay, I have 20 minutes left, so I want to make sure I stick to time. Let's move on to number two. But before I do we have, or do we just, let's agree, do we take questions after each topic or we wait till the end? Which is more effective?
I think we should wait till the end. I suggest we wait till the end.
Okay, okay. Anyone else? What do you think? Michael, are you there?
We can wait till the end.
Okay, I would like to welcome Mr. David, a good friend of mine, who is just joining us now. Thank you so much for joining us. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's move on to the next topic, which is how to increase profit using branding. Let's see how much we can cover here. How to increase profit using branding. Now, first of all, before we even go into this, we need to understand what branding is. Now, branding is a word that gets thrown around a lot, especially in these days. Everybody, oh, branding, I'm a brand. Well, a lot of people really don't know what the word branding is. Of course, brand means business, right? So, brand, business brand, a name or whatever. But what is branding? I'll just give you the simple definition. There are a lot of technical jargons that can be used to define it. But the purpose of communication is understanding, not to complicate things. So, branding simply is the perceived value that your customers have about your brand or your business. The perceived value. Now, keyword being or keywords being perceived value. Why is this important? You see, people pay you based on what they think you are worth. Is that correct? Is that correct? Please respond.
Yes, that is, yes.
Okay. Okay, so people pay you based on what they think you are worth. How many of us has ever gone to the market and bought broom for 10,000 naira? Broom. Not sweeper, broom, the one we know from back in the day. How many of us have done that before?
I haven't.
Please,
Very
if
good.
anybody has done that, you show us where you are seeing this money so you can share it with all of us. Why now? Why haven't you done that? Because you know that a broom is not that valuable. It is the perceived value because you think it's something you can actually just, even if you gather one broom, like five. We've done it before. Me, I've done it before. Just gather them, use rope and tie it. Broom is set. You don't even need to go to market. Just gather small everywhere, and then you have a broom. So, um, it is simply because of the perceived value. But how many of us would think 1 million naira is too much to buy a land in Abuja? And in that,
Nah, it's too small.
exactly. Now that's even if you get a good deal. Oh, that's if you get a good deal, which I doubt you will find, unless if they are running discounts or something. So it is all about value. So branding is a game of perception. It is a game of influencing perceptions and influencing perceived value. That is branding. I hope this definition sits well with us so we can proceed. Now, what do we do? Because the topic is how to increase profit using branding. I'm going to try and rush a bit because of time. I don't want to keep us beyond the 8 o'clock time. How to increase profit. Number one under this topic is develop a strong brand identity. Develop a strong brand identity. Now, I'm going to use MTN that we all know as an example. They are known for their bright yellow branding, that their color. It's this their
Yeah.
distinctive logo and their slogan everywhere you go. MTN everywhere. We knew it since we were young or younger. Everywhere you go, MTN everywhere you go, And now MTN's identity is instantly recognizable and it reflects its wide coverage and connectivity just because of that slogan. Everywhere you go, even if it is not true. There are places right now MTN is not working, but they have instilled in our subconscious that everywhere you go, MTN is present. So, perceived value. Does it mean you lie and manipulate? No, but it's about how you project yourself. Two people, eh? Now, so we have two people here in this group who are offering event management services, Miss Ruth and Miss, is it Michael, right? Or is it Victor?
Yeah.
Okay, Michael.
Michael.
Okay, now we have two people who are offering the same, similar service here, but these two people can decide to distinguish themselves. And then one will be attending to elites in the society while the other one is a local champion. It's all about your branding, how you position. So it's called brand positioning. How do you position yourself? Who are your ideal clients? If I go to your Instagram page, what kind of persona are you exuding for me to look at and say, oh, These people, oh boy, I can't afford them more because they seem to be big. And then this one, even if they charge me, I'll price it. How are you presenting yourself? It's the same saying that say the way you dress is the way you are dressed. So bring it into business now that the way you present your service, the way you present your product is the way people will buy from you. Is that's why some of us are struggling to sell certain things because we don't even look like people that can have those things. I don't know if this makes sense to you. You have to look like what you say you are offering. You have to look like what you say you can deliver. You have to look the part. It's not enough to just know. Knowledge is one part, but packaging is another. And that packaging is very important for your business. So, if on your social media when you post, the quality of pictures matter. Don't be using phone that cannot take good pictures, you see, because you are trying to, social media is a global platform. You're trying to sell something that anyone anywhere can buy. If that be the case, position yourself well. At this point, I would like to because I want everybody here to prosper and make profits. That's the whole idea here. So um, Mr. David, whom I introduced earlier, who is here, is an amazing web website creator. Okay, he creates websites. I saw one he made the other time. I was so impressed. So every one of us here, I'm sure we need websites for businesses. If you don't have, please, he is the one you should be talking to. Okay. So now, after you've done business, then Mr. David will reach out to me for my account details for marketing. Thank you.
Very well.
Okay. So it's very important that you develop a strong brand identity. Now, in brand identity, that's where your graphic designs comes in. Your logo, the color you use. Research your color that reflects your brand. Don't just use any color. Don't just use any color. There are certain colors that, I mean, read about it. There's something called color psychology. For those of us that know a little bit about graphic design, there's color psychology. Every color has something it means or represents. Know what that is so that you don't use a color that negates the values of your brand. It wouldn't work. Okay. Now let's move a bit faster. Um, Number two, so that's number one, develop a strong brand identity. Number two, enhance perceived value through brand positioning. I feel like I just explained this, so that's good. I didn't even know I was already explaining it. Number two, enhance perceived value through brand positioning. Okay, so I feel I've explained that. So let's just move on to the third one, which is build emotional connections. Build emotional connections. It is important. Now, this is the reason why a lot of brands do what we call CSR, corporate social responsibility. Okay, where, for example, MTN, I think they do this thing. Is it every Christmas? Correct me if I'm wrong, but they have this thing they do where they like give back to the society, maybe bags of rice to like indigent children. They go to communities that really need help and do something like that. Maybe I don't know if it's Glow or MTN, but I know one of them does this. Well, of course, we've seen other brands that do these things every once in a while. Now, it is not just that they are good. Is goodness should be the drive and motivation, helping people, right? But it is also a business move in the sense that every human being has the need to be loved and seen and heard. So when your business seems to always be portraying themselves as people that care about people, right? It is only natural that people will start getting attracted to you just because you help people. Have any of us, you could, at this point, I'd like somebody to talk, anyone at all. If there's any business or brand in particular you got attached to just because you saw how they were human or connected to people, helping people, is there anyone you know? Please share. Anyone?
Yeah, I think so. I started using. I used to be an MTN person
Okay.
until I decided to switch to Airtel, and this was the reason why I found that MTN always catered to the top class of society,
Okay.
which only sounds natural because that was more like where their market started from.
Yeah.
And I noticed that Airtel was trying to make communication easy. Airtel and Globe, that I just got drawn to Airtel because they're trying to make communication easy and affordable.
Mm.
And in those days, up till now, they empower. You see them empower young people with. They went to register same with umbrellas, with registration parks, with
Yeah.
table. They set you up, and it was more like they were earning from the people by giving back by setting up young people
Mm.
to start up something and start making profit with what
Yeah.
they have. So me saying that and being part of one of those programs it really influenced my shift from MTN to Airtel. I just said, why? If these people could do this, is why won't I use their network? And then using their network even made it even I enjoyed it better because it was faster, it was better. So the whole thing about empowering young people and helping
Mm.
them to start and make money was really something that drew me to them.
Mm.
That's my opinion. Yeah.
Wonderful. And you see, you also see, I'm sure we've seen banks that do this as well. Some banks,
Yeah.
yeah, where they just say, okay, we're empowering people with fund for their business. Share your business idea with us, and whoever wins goes home with this. So all of these things that they do is trying to create an emotional attachment with people. You know why? The secret is simple. It's not even a secret. It's just probably you might not have heard it this way, but it's not secret. Or let's just call it an open secret. It is because people, when I mean people, I mean every one of us, we make purchases using our emotion. It is later that we justify it with our logic. Virtually everything we've ever bought, it was an emotional buy most of the time. Most of the time, especially if money is not the issue. If it is, then your brain is mostly activated at that time. But if money is really not the problem and you really want something, you will likely have bought it before you realize you didn't even need it. So when you have an emotional attachment to any brand, for some people they will never use Samsung or any other Android phone. It must be iPhone, even though they don't have shares in Apple. But it's just something about iPhone that has, I don't know. They are the ones that can explain what the motivation is, right? So there are people who will never also use iPhone except Samsung or other Android devices, So everyone has an emotional attachment to whichever brand they choose. It is, in fact, it's very simple. That mama by the road where you always go and buy akara or something, that shop where supermarket that they treat you well when you go there. The person used to ask you, "How is your day?" Yeah, you look stressed. Too. Are you sure you need to rest? And then the other one that just say, "How much?" Oh yeah, take it. Oh, I don't have change. You will likely keep going to the other person, right? Emotional connection. All right, so we are supposed to go into the third topic, but I believe at the beginning of the class I mentioned that we might not go into it because of time, because I want to exhaust the first two. So I'll shift this third one into tomorrow's final class, which is on social media strategies for effective marketing. Of course, I'll add this with the other topics I will treat tomorrow, but we'll start with this one. So on this note, thank you all for joining me for the first day of the Profit Circle Masterclass. At this point, I would like us to take questions and then network before we call it an evening. So anyone with a question, please go ahead.
Okay, while other
Yeah,
people
Shine.
are getting their questions together, I just want to thank you for this class. It's really an eye opener. Some of these things you think you know them, but you realize that you really do not know, or you've not sat down to think about these things. So thank you.
Thank you
I don't
so
have
much.
questions for today.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Okay, anyone else?
Well, I really like the first speaker. I really may not have much questions. I'm very sorry I came in late um, because of
We'll
traffic,
be
and then
collecting fine. Oh. Tomorrow we'll collect fine. Late comers.
I'll try my best. But I want to say that this is amazing. I've been here for 10 minutes, and then my mind has really, they're like the first speaker said, there are things you think you know, but you may not just know it all.
Hmm.
And then you being able to simplify some of these things is really amazing. Thank you so much. I don't know why you made this free, but thank you for making it free, because this is what we pay hundreds of thousands. And I just pray that by the end of this course, we all see the value
Yeah.
in what you're giving to us, because this is great value.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
s- this is great. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I hope to be early tomorrow, and then I will have a lot of questions to ask.
Thank you so much, David. It's all my pleasure. And by the way, I'll drop a PDF containing a few of the notes for this day one so that you have access to it going forward.
That we will appreciate very well. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome, Michael. So any question from Michael or Victor or my wife?
No question, sir. Thank you very much for taking your time um to elaborate on this topic. We really appreciate it. God bless you.
Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Sir, so my question goes like this.
Okay.
Um, you were saying that there are two people in this space right now who are also doing the same thing.
Okay.
That depending on how the branding and everything will go. So who is the international person and who is the local champion?
You didn't have to ask that.
You've not worked with Prime. You've not experienced Prime. I like the fact that you have this vote and confidence in who you've worked with and every other thing. It's the publication was too much. So now you now decided to range us like one international, and you said the work was
Okay.
with British people.
Okay.
So who is the local?
Okay. So,
I'm
first,
sure he
first,
has his answer. So
first of all, my apologies if it suggested that, even though I'm sure that's not what I said. But my apologies if it suggested that. I was saying that, so we have two people here offering the same thing. Now, this out of these two people, you can decide which. Okay, so I was trying to make. I'm sure you knew I was trying to make an example, right? How that two people
Yes,
can
I know,
be
I know, I
two,
know.
two people can be doing the same kind of things, but depending on how they position themselves or project themselves to the public, one can be seen as an elite service provider, while the other one is a local champion. Just how, and I went ahead to give examples, but of course, anybody in this circle is international. We do only global things here. So, my brother, you are welcome.
Oh,
Only global things.
okay. So in this stuff you said about branding colors to
Yes.
emotions. So you know, just as they will always say, because I'm a fan of Steve Harvey's show, and he was talking with one psychologist, and he said, when you're thinking of something, there are over 100,000 people in the same wavelength at the same time. So
True.
branding colors, when you choose, you're not going to be the first to say you want to use purple and brown
Mm-hmm.
or royal blue and stuff.
True.
So when you get into the market and your branding color that you want to use for your emotional appeal or to make your brand unique
Yeah.
has already been used, how do you conquer that? How do you fight that? How do you differentiate yourself and stand out?
Okay. So, great question, first of all. Now, I believe that the human mind is inexhaustibly creative. I hope the English is correct. But my point is that you cannot run out of creativity. It's impossible. Why? Because we are made in the image of God, who is the creator. So we are also creators. We can't run out of ideas so long as you put in the work. Okay. The issue sometimes people are lazy, so they don't want to do research. Um, you can, I mean, for example, this brand. Okay, so we have Coca Cola, and then there's this other one. What's it called? Is it something cola? Is it? There's another one that has cola on it.
Yeah, big cola, big
Uh-huh,
cola.
Big Cola. Now, they had a court case for some time because of course, Coca-Cola sued them now. So why are you using cola when you knew we were already popular with it? However, they didn't win the case, and so that's why the name is still there till today. You can always creatively tweak your own colors. You perhaps will make it a darker shade or a lighter shade, whichever the case may be, or change it completely. It mustn't, because, for example, okay, how about Nike? Nike is black, right? Now, what is
Mm.
black? How do you even explain that color now to what they do? Louis Vuitton, sometimes they make it white depending on what they are imprinting it on. Sometimes they make it black depending on what it is. So sometimes the color does not necessarily have to be the issue. Okay, so you can creatively use what works for you and what works for your audience. It really doesn't matter at some point. It really doesn't matter. It's just sometimes some colors are just far out from the product. They don't make sense in regarding what you are selling, you know. But it's something that can always be worked out. I would recommend that you work with a professional graphic designer for this. And I believe, Mr. David, you're also a graphic designer, right?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, so that's a professional that you can talk to on colors and all that, and he would take care of things from there.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. So, Victor, do you have any questions before we call it a wrap? I'm already 2 minutes outside my time.
Okay, so thank you very much for the opportunity
You're welcome.
and the privilege to be here. I don't have any questions for today, so probably tomorrow.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank you very much.
for thank you, Victor. So I would like to use the opportunity to thank everyone once again for joining the Profit Circle Masterclass. I hope you found this useful and informative. And my joy at the end, like David said, will be that everything we have shared both today and by God's grace tomorrow would reflect in financial results for your businesses. That's my belief. That will be my reward. Okay.
Amen.
Yes. So please kindly share the link to the group, okay? The WhatsApp group where we're all in. Kindly share the group to others. When something is happening the first time, people are skeptical, which is very okay. But those who have participated now perhaps will be more confident in sharing with people. So please go ahead, share with people so we have more people here learning some of these things, and I'm sure they will come back to say thank you. So thank you very much, and do enjoy the rest of your evening, and God bless you all. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. See you tomorrow.